They told me to report to Avenger Field in Sweetwater, Texas, and they gave me a date. I think it was, I think it was December 6th. That date, as nearly as I could remember. December 6th of 43.
And so you had to arrange for your own travel in order to
I
get
certainly
things?
did, yes. I paid for my own travel. They didn't, they gave us, I can't remember, I think it was probably $125, $150 a month. Wait a minute, that was after we graduated. I can't remember what we got before, but it wasn't much. It was probably enough to get our laundry done and you know, certain things like that. But it wasn't very much. We didn't get a second lieutenant's pay, never did. Was always under that. But I guess we managed because we're still here.
And do you recall what the training was like at Sweetwater?
We got up very early in the morning, and it was, the whole thing was military all the way through. We walked, we marched to every class, we marched to the flight line, we marched to meals. We were always in marching order. And we were always dressed. You know, we had to have certain clothes on. And they were tan slacks and white shirts, and we had turbans around our hair. And then when we went flying, in the winter, well, we were there in the winter, and it was cold, and we had full flying gear on. We had helmets and boots, and they were all fur-lined, and fur-lined jackets and fur-lined pants. Because we'd go up to 5,000 feet or 10,000 feet or maybe even higher, and it was damnably cold up there. And actually, that winter, they had snow in Victoria, Texas. And the snow was about that deep. Well, some of the kids had never seen snow. They were from Texas, so we had a good time in that. Well, there were some days that we couldn't fly because of the snow. But that was most unusual.
And the protective gear that you wore when you flew, was that tailored to women, or were they just small men's clothing?
They were small men's clothing. When we graduated, Nieman Marcus came out to the field and measured every single girl individually. Went back to Dallas with the measurements, made the uniforms. They couldn't have fit us better, but they fit us perfectly.
And that was after your graduation?
That was just before graduation, because we graduated in those clothes. And then when we went to our new base, we took those clothes with us. But they were very, very good looking and beautiful material. Then when we were disbanded, we could keep one set. The rest, I don't know what they did with. We had to send them back. And we had A2 jackets, which are the leather jackets that all pilots wore. And I very conveniently lost mine, and I had to buy it. But I had it for quite some time until I wore it out. And a lot of the girls did that. We had to buy them, but we did keep them.
And did you have to buy your uniforms that were fitted from Nieman Marcus?
No, we didn't. One set, we were probably given 2 winter sets and 2 summer sets, and we could keep one. Just one. That was it. Some of the girls still have them. Not me. I got too fat. But they were very handsome uniforms.
Being sort of a female pioneer, could you talk a little bit about what the male perspective was at that point in time?
Actually, we didn't have any problem with that at all. None. We did our jobs, and the men had their jobs, and we had ours, and There was no problem there. There never was. We were treated as military on the base. And we were saluted, and we saluted in return. And we had all military privileges while on the base. Now, I did not live on the base. I lived just off the base. But, you know, the men didn't seem to object to us. And I really didn't have any problem at all.
And would you say that that was pretty consistent throughout your career as a WASP?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I was only at one base, and that was Foster Field.